Today, I'm going to unload everything I can possibly imagine possible for you to do in order to fill your Airbnb back up after all the losses that you've all taken. This will be a little bit longer of a video. We're going to cover many aspects of running a business in hospitality and travel, and some of these plan Bs are a little bold. And so take some notes, sit down, get ready to really apply yourself, because this isn't designed to be easy. This is business, and we're dealing with one of the hardest things you will ever go through as an Airbnb host. So my name's Sean Rakijic, a serial business owner. This is not my first powwow. Airbnb Automated, and let's save your Airbnb business. All right, welcome back, Airbnb family. So like I said, long video, sit down, take some notes, make a plan. I will ask that you share this video. Hosts everywhere need to understand how this is going to work. And trust me, there's enough for everyone. Don't be selfish in your clawing for survival. People need to survive here. Maintaining a strong host base is important to maintaining a strong guest base. And even if you don't stick with just Airbnb, you still want the home share world to survive as a whole. So please share this video with your host community, so that way they can have a piece of this pie too. Now, companies, small ones and large ones, are all really trying here. And so let me show you a screenshot of Sonder. This is an ad Sonder has on Facebook. They have about 4,000 doors, and they have their own booking platform. They're actually especially ready for this situation because not only do they have the presence nationally to be able to spend money on social media ads and stuff like that, but they actually have clauses in their leases that say if the Dow Jones drops more than 700 points in a day, they get a free month's rent. And this has happened this year, or in the last calendar year. 700-point drops have happened 4, 5, 6 times. They have gotten so many months of free rent contractually that they're able to ride out this epidemic on free rent alone. Okay. Now they do still have a lot of costs. Half of their staff are engineers. That's got to hurt. But the fact that they're not paying rent is a big plus for them when these types of things happen. So yeah, the stock market dropped 3,000 points today, 13%, brutal. But you can see this ad. What's notable about this ad is they put 40% off for bookings 14 days or longer. This is subliminal, okay? The 14-day number is a number that everybody has in their head because quarantine is 14 days. I think that they chose 14 days specifically as a way to low-key remind you that it's been hitting the fan, and you can take advantage of this 40% off offer in order to to save money on your stay for whatever your reason is. Maybe they're targeting people who are trying to self-quarantine, and they're trying to become first in mind on that. Whether or not they're specifically trying to attack people, attack the market, people who are self-quarantining or not, they're definitely using that 14-day number for a reason, psychologically speaking. Now, this is not going to be your strategy. I'm actually not going to ask you to spend money. Okay, you're not going to do ad campaigns. All right. There's something I did create for you guys. If you already have our pricing course, I added a video on SEO. That's something that I cannot publish on YouTube. Airbnb would have my head if I told you to do it publicly. So I'm limiting where that video is available. We're going to talk about that later. Let's talk about the obvious thing that hosts are doing that is notably getting some traction here. So hosts are posting in their profiles a photo. Let me show you the photo as their second or third photo to let people know that the homes are cleaned, to try to sell the fact that they're sterile and safe. It is true, homes are much more safe than hotels. You can talk about the fact that you don't have a shared HVAC for airborne pathogens. You can talk about how social distancing requires you to be separate from people. You're not sharing the same front door, lobby with a bunch of people. Home share has self-check-in a lot of times. You don't even need to meet with a human to check in, which means you don't even have to deal with the front desk or a bellhop, which social distancing. There's a lot of reasons. So you can start selling how home share is safer than hotels. And so this photo is talking about cleanliness. You can put in your description how ready you are for this kind of thing. You can do specials in your title. There's a lot of people doing I won't even say the word, they're demonetizing people for that, but with specials for this epidemic. You can stay here, you're safe. So you can modify your listing as step one to kind of capture the niche market of people who are conscious about this. Now you could actually decide as a counter strategy to not bring it up, because you want people who are booking to be as comfortable as possible. I'm not going to tell you that changing your title is actually the best way to go. I will tell you though that when somebody books on your listing or looks at your listing, the first 5 photos pop up. Your hero photo is the main photo, and there's going to be 4 photos that pop up to the left. So the first 5 photos that you show in your photo reel show up when somebody clicks on your listing. So if you put that housekeeping photo, as one of your first 5 photos, it'll show up right away, even if somebody doesn't scroll through your photos. Reminder, we talked about this in a past video, 6 out of every 10 persons shopping on Airbnb automatically start scrolling through photos. They don't even read anything. So the majority of people, if they're going to discover something about your home, they're going to discover it in the photos. Let that be known. Okay, so number 2, another obvious thing that you could have already been doing is go multi-platform. What that means is to be on more than just Airbnb. Now, I do have a few things I want to talk to you about. It's not as simple as it sounds. There's cost to going multi-platform. You usually need a channel manager to connect your listings like Booking.com, Airbnb, HomeAway, Expedia, TripAdvisor. You'll need to connect the calendars in a way that prevents double bookings. You could connect them through something called iCal. It's very basic. It's a little bit slow, and so you could get double bookings. But right now we may not be seeing double bookings because it's going to be slow for the next few weeks. So you may not need to pay for a channel manager immediately, but you'll need to be open in Booking.com and HomeAway and Airbnb in order to communicate with guests. Also, each platform is remarkably different in the way that they operate. Booking.com, they expect you to take your own payments unless you use payments by Booking. Booking.com has a much higher chargeback rate. Somebody could stay with you and then get a refund by basically charging back and disputing the charge, because Airbnb is interesting in the way that it owns that reservation through the entirety of it. So Airbnb directly deals with the guest, and if a guest wants to try to get a chargeback, that's between Airbnb and the bank, not you and the bank. So you're not as protected on Booking.com. You'll have to have every guest sign like an invoice receipt on arrival that they've checked in, this is their signature, and stuff like that. So you'll need to have a protocol for Booking.com bookings. Additionally, if you do let Booking.com do the payments by Booking thing, you don't get paid nearly as fast. If you take payments directly from the guest using like a Stripe account, you can get paid immediately upon their reserving from you. So you can actually get the cash faster. So if you guys think you're going to be cash strapped coming April, get a Stripe account, set up the Stripe account, connect it to Booking.com, and do the payments by Booking, but bypass payments by Booking and take your own. I think there's going to be some like minimum requirements here, and Booking.com does force you to verify listings. We've actually just been communicating with our booking rep and like doing a FaceTime inside the property as proof that we have possession of the property. So Booking.com does have some bypasses for getting loaded up faster. Now I'm talking a lot about Booking.com because it may be the only reasonable second platform to use to get like bookings like now, for today, for this week. Places like HomeAway, Vrbo, they tend to have people booking more like 6 months in advance or longer. So if you're looking for a solution to this week or next week's bookings problems, HomeAway is not going to give you that solution. It's highly unlikely that you're going to get a last minute booking for your home on HomeAway. Because partially bigger properties, people book further in advance, so you're still dealing with the same problem on Airbnb. I bet a lot of you have had reservations that were 4 months old that got canceled this last week, and it's for next week, and you don't have another 4 months to get the booking, right? Last minute bookings, you have to slash your rate to such a low rate, and it could offend you how low you're going, and that sucks. But as a measure of stop loss, you'll still need to lower your rates to get bookings, which we'll talk about later, or implement some of these other solutions so you maybe book at a premium, and good luck on that, by the way. Like, honestly, good luck. I hope you get full rate bookings, if at all possible. So going multi-platform does require some things. It requires you understanding your industry a little bit better, having systems in place, looking at different channels, managing guests on different message threads. We will be covering channel managers in the future, but right now is really not the time. You're going to have to do the seat of your pants if you want results now, which means just get on Booking.com and start trudging through it. I really do like the idea of using your own Stripe account so you can get that money in your pocket now. That'd be cool. So, Booking.com has had some issues. Saunders had to deal with this, where people are using fake credit cards and basically starting their booking process with a fake credit card, checking in and then never making payment. And this has happened in Philadelphia for Sonder, and they've had to try to remove people after they did not pay for their reservation. So there is some risk on Booking.com, and it could really hurt you here. So that's my last thought on multi-platform. Now you can book direct too. So, booking direct, this is another big conversation. You can start mixing in longer term stays, and this is something that a lot of people are doing right now. And we've always had a stance where we want to be long-term stay ready. We've done this always, where about 30% of our portfolio should be monthly bookings or longer, just as a way for us to have less housekeepers on staff and stuff like that. So you can start looking for monthly or longer stays. You can reprice your listing to have a really juicy monthly discount on Airbnb and try to get somebody to book for a multi-month. You can just do a juicy 2-week discount using a rule set, or the custom night stay discount spots. So you can do that on Airbnb too. But you can start using things like, if you're not multi-platform, you can still start advertising for direct bookings, even if you don't have your own website. You can start creating Craigslist listings for furnished monthly rentals, furnished weekly rentals. You can get on Facebook Marketplace and put your place up for rent as a furnished, no bills, all bills paid furnished accommodation. And your goal here isn't to make a killing, but to know that you're making a profit off of someone for a certain period of time. Because right now the risk is the uncertainty. What if you have 0 bookings, right? What if April comes and you're 20% or 30% occupied in April? That's the fear, right? So if you're trying to hedge out your fear, you can take half of your portfolio and give it away at a very thin profit as a multi-month furnished. And that way, if you lose money, and you only have 30% occupancy on the remaining of your portfolio, the amount of money you're losing, if you're in arbitrage and paying rent, or if you have a big mortgage, the amount of money you're losing, you're in the red only on half your portfolio, not the whole portfolio. So that's one thing that you can do, is start looking for direct channels to advertise your home as a longer term. Now you can still take nightlies or multi-night using Facebook Marketplace or using Craigslist. Now your other solution too is to do some cold calling. Now this kind of gets fun. This is really where you have to get scrappy. The hustle, the win will be in the hustle here. If you have a vacation property, you're in Colorado and it's you're in the slopes, or if you have a beach property, the Hamptons, everybody goes to the Hamptons in the summer. Any properties that have vacation type of traffic, start calling your guests from last year, and then start calling your guests that you've had so far this season. Also call the guests that have canceled and ask for referrals. Ask them, hey, do you know anybody who will be in the neighborhood? Obviously, you know what's going on right now in the economy. We're attempting to fill up our property so that way we can stay in business, and hopefully we'll see you again. If you can't come, we'll like to see you again next year. So we'd love to keep servicing the community and the travel space. So can I ask you for some referrals? Do you know anybody who comes to this city, to this neighborhood, to this point of interest, and that we can host, that we can house while they're here? Who can we host for you? So you're asking your past tenants, you're asking your current tenants, and you're asking for referrals. Now you can also call your current tenants and ask them if they'd like to extend their reservation at a really juicy price too. So now you're prospecting your current business to try to get them to extend. And that seems almost like a no-brainer, but you should. Lastly, you can call businesses. I'm currently working on a method for this. It's not remarkably simple because it is in a way new business. You're actually doing the most old school version of corporate housing ever, but you already have the inventory. Normally corporate housing, you find the guest first, then you find them a house. So corporate housing companies right now, the cool thing is they don't actually have any spare inventory because they only pick up inventory when they have the customer. So what you could do now is you can call businesses and you try to get past the gatekeeper, be like, hey, can you help me? I'm looking to connect with the person at your office that handles employee relocation or housing staff for projects, managing your workforce as far as housing and relocation goes. They may tell you where to go, who to call. They may tell you to take a hike. Outbound calls, they suck. You're going to get a very low percentage of people who are going to cooperate with you, but there's power in numbers. You're going to like burn and turn. You're going to dial that number. Find a friend who's good at cold calling. Ask them to mentor you on how to do outbound phone calls and how to stay positive and resilient in the face of 100 no's. And you know what I mean? It's a grind. But what you're getting is you're getting the opportunity to work with a business and actually develop a new stream of income here, because this can become a permanent thing. Once you win a business over, like, they can come back to you over and over and over again. And I do have some businesses that'll call me when they're in Houston. They work on power plants and power lines. They work on power lines. And they'll call me up and let me know that they've got 9 people that they need to place somewhere for 2 months, and then I'll get that deal. So once you win these businesses, they're worth a lot of money lifetime. So they're worth the effort. And what you'll tell them in this case, once you get the right person on the phone, be like, hey John, hey Susan, my name's Sean. I have a corporate housing company with kind of a unique business structure, and we have a lot of available inventory right now. We cater to tourism as well as business travelers, and a lot of this is down now because of what's going on. Now, do you have anybody staying in a hotel? Anybody staying somewhere that you don't have a contract where you're overpaying for them to stay? Because what I'd like to offer to you is the chance to place people at a much lower price than what you're paying right now if you have any workforce in the area. Or if you're considering putting people into the area in the near future, I'd like to offer you the opportunity to place them for days, weeks, or months at a really good price point. Because we have inventory on hand, we don't need to charge you an insane markup. It's already furnished, it's ready to go. It would be a simple placement, and our costs are much lower because we pay like long-term leases, or we pay our mortgage. So we don't have a bloated corporate housing structure. So this is going to be a great way for your company to save money utilizing a company like ours, because we just happen to have a ton of inventory available. Can we do some business? Do you think you'll have any needs in the near future to place contractors or employees in a furnished apartment? I would love to have that business from you. And because of timing, you're going to have a remarkable deal from our company. What information do you need from me for us to, of course, move forward? Do I need to register with your company to become a vendor? Is there somebody else I need to talk to? What would be the next steps for us to do business? All right, close that deal. That is my speculation on how that call will go, and that's what I'm going to be doing. So if you want to do it, get on the phone and burn some phone numbers and start calling some local businesses and let them know that there's a unique opportunity for them to save money and using your glorious product that you have on hand. Now, let's say it hits the fan and you are inevitably losing money and you cannot pay all of your liabilities. Let me speak to you rental arbitrage guys, just in case. In case you don't have enough money to pay rent next month, there's 2 options. You can let your landlord know, or you could not let your landlord know. You can talk to your landlord. If you have a good solid relationship, long term, you have like a 3-year lease with the guy, with multiple units, and you guys kind of have like a big connection here, you can basically say to that landlord, hey, we're going to be dry. We're going to be cash light coming into April. I can't pay you all of the rents up front. Can we defer some of those rents? Kick it down the road. Let's break up April. I'll pay you half of April. I'll pay you half of May. And then June, July, August, I'll start paying you 1 month of rent. Let's break it up into 6 payments, and I'll pay you 6 months of rent, June, July, August, all the way through. Obviously my business, and I'm here to stay, so let's come up with a creative way for us to get you paid, but for us to handle the constriction of cash if this situation gets really, really bad and they put everybody under travel quarantine. Let's say it's not going to be quite that bad and you're only going to be short a little bit of rent. And let's say you're coming in just a little bit dry and you have bookings for April coming up and you got some revenue in the pipe. You could just take your most expensive lease or your most expensive couple leases and be late. You can just be late on rent. You can just not pay on the 1st and wait to pay until the 7th or 10th. A lot of places are probably going to waive late fees because of this whole pandemic, and to not waive late fees would seem a little weird, or would seem a little mean. So people trying to save face will be like, you know what, just this one time as a courtesy, we'll let you be late on rent this one time. So it may not even actually cost you money. So what you've effectively done is you've taken a very short-term loan from your landlord for an extra 10 days. And as you get paid by Airbnb, the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, then you'll pay the rent on the 8th once you have that last little bit that you're short. So you'd be a little bit late on rent, but that could carry you through. Now, if you have a mortgage, I don't have an answer for how you negotiate with your bank on being late on mortgage payments, but I have a feeling that that the government is going to direct banks to be light on homeowners and employees and stuff like that. So we may find that by April there's going to be relief for you if you have a mortgage. If you want to know more about mortgage stuff, my buddy Sean Ray, he's the guy who likes to buy stuff. So when it comes to mortgages and how they're going to treat homeowners, his channel, I'll put a link in the description. I'll ask him to do a video on that topic, so that way you guys can have that information. Also, last idea for landlords is you can offer to do a rev share agreement for like a certain period of months. Be like, hey man, this is gonna be tough, so let's just agree to split whatever the revenues I can get is. And this is going to be the season over the summer, so tell you what, I'll pay you, let's just split it 50-50 for the next like 6 months. It could suck these next couple of months, but then we'll make it back on these other months, and so that way you'll get a piece of any of my upside by being my partner in the downside. And you can like do a revenue share agreement. I'm not telling you 50-50 should be the split. Look at your numbers and think about what kind of good deal you can get, but I just want you to be aware that rev share is an option for you there. Okay, so let's say you have housekeepers like us. One of our biggest advantages, and the reason why we're really not losing money, so let me say it like this. We lost money as in we lost bookings. We went from having hundreds of thousands of dollars in bookings to probably only having maybe like $110,000 for the month right now, right? And that sucks. That super sucks. So we might be at like $110,000, $125,000 in bookings for the month right now after all of our losses. But we can get new bookings at a really, really low price. Our people are paying us like $50 a night on average, last minute. And this place that I'm sitting in right now, the rent is like $1,900 a month for the one bedrooms that we have. And so with that, if we book at $50 a night, we're losing money those nights. But then the nights that we book at like $80 a night, we start pulling ahead and making money. This is one of our more expensive leases for a one bedroom here in Philly. So the goal is to overall break even for the rest of the month, because we did get paid some really good rates for like the first 10 days of the month at this place. Now for this next week, we think that really just this week is going to be the toughest because of the cancellations. We don't have much time to recover from the cancellations because today is today, right? Tomorrow is tomorrow. But 5-7 days from now, there's a little bit of time for us to lower the rates some and maybe get a booking. But last minute right now, we're slashing our rates lower than we ever have before to get today and tomorrow filled up. And thankfully yesterday, we filled up in Philadelphia 100% yesterday. So we recovered, but we did have to drop the prices. People with cleaning fee for one night stay were paying $65 to $80. Right? But thankfully our housekeeping costs us about $20 per room. So we're charging, $45 to $60 take home. So we're losing only a little bit of money yesterday on the ones that we dropped that low. Not all of them were that low. So I went a little tangential there. So let me just skip ahead to this one and let me talk about the housekeepers again. Right now you should be dropping your rates. You should be dropping them way more than you think you should be dropping them. And that is based on how much time you have left to get booked. Hotels are doing the same thing. You just saw Sonder slashing 40% off for 14 days or longer. Some hotels are just closing because they don't think that they can get full enough to justify their break-even costs. It costs more money to have their staff in the building than it would be for the money that they get from filling up the few doors that they get full. So since some hotels are shuttering, this can be good for us to get some bookings. But we have to slash our prices for the immediate future. Like the next 3 or 4 days is probably the most important heavy slashing that you're going to do. Drop them about 30% more than you typically would drop for the next 24, 48 hours. Now, if you have big homes, you can do this too. Take a listing and split it up to private rooms. Like you have four doors, split them up into 4 private rooms and sell them off at a value today, tomorrow, the next day. Because big homes don't sell at good prices last minute. Your good prices will come from a month or 2 or 3 or 4 down the road. Anybody booking the next 10 days from now, you guys are going to be in a really tough spot because you can't get $300 a night for your house today or tomorrow. You just don't have enough time. So create some new listings and have them as private rooms and start selling them off as private rooms, so you have 4 guests in a 4-bedroom instead of 1 family in a 4-bedroom. Okay, and this could help you kind of handle your last minute inventory. Now, with that said, if you have housekeepers, which is what I was actually going to get to, and you pay them by the hour like us, and you need them to have a volume of cleaning or you're going to lose your staff, there's a fail-safe that you need to put into place for them too. So you can give your housekeepers enough hours if you don't have enough cleaning by having them go market for you to go pick up new business. So you can actually have your housekeepers go door to door in the apartments that you're in or in your neighborhood, and ask them if they would like to have their home professionally cleaned and disinfected. If you have an ozone machine, or a series of ozone machines, you can sell the fact that you have the professional equipment to clean, to kill the virus on all surfaces, because you have this special ozonator that'll actually completely disinfect a space. And so you have your housekeepers go door to door to door to sell your services on a deep clean, and see if you can get your housekeepers sold as a markup. So you're paying your housekeepers a certain amount of money per hour. You pay them by the hour to go find you business. Then you continue to pay them by the hour to fill the business, but then you charge the guest, you charge the consumer a markup, so that way you can make a profit on your housekeepers. This is something that you can do even when this is all over. See, we built the scale so that way we could sell our housekeepers to other hosts and to other people who want their homes cleaned. So this is something that's easy for us to do because it's already part of our business model. We just give our housekeepers more marketing or flyer time, where they go and they put flyers inside of doors and they go introduce themselves to homeowners or apartment renters. This is something that you can do to give your housekeepers more work so you don't lose them, because one of the bigger expenses is if you lose your best housekeepers, it's going to be hard to run a good short-term rental business on the back end of this. See, everything's contracting, and if you lose your staff, then accommodating the sudden growth when travel comes back, you'll need to hire new housekeepers. And that can be a big pain. That can be just really, really tough. So that is one solution for you here too, is give your housekeepers more work by having them do the marketing for you. Make some flyers, go door to door, do like a special, tell people that you have ozone machines and you can do some really cool stuff and sell that. And that'll give them more hours so they don't quit. And then you maybe even make some profit off of those new contracts that you get. And those can be lifetime valuable contracts if they come and use your cleaning again and again and again. So there's one thing that I cannot tell you on a video, because Airbnb would not want me to tell you, but I can tell you about it and tell you where to go get more information. If you already have a pricing strategy course, it's going to be a video already in there. This is actually SEO strategy, but SEO leads to bookings, which is obviously pricing, revenue management. Airbnb did make a change to their flexible cancellation policy that you get an SEO boost. You won't pay the 3% fee, transaction fee on any bookings now that you're flexible, any bookings that are made now as a flexible listing. And so there's a couple cool things there. But you don't want to be flexible 2 months from now, right? So there's kind of like a line to walk. So I've created a system that'll allow you to kind of get the best of both worlds. And I can't tell you how to do it here because Airbnb would just hate me. So if you're already a member of the pricing strategy course, it's there. Otherwise, if you're not a member of the pricing strategy course, there's a link below. I'm going to call it my turbocharger SEO strategy, and it's going to be in the description, and you can go down there and get it. But I can't post it as a public video on YouTube. I'm sorry. So there's that. Now, last thing I want to say to you is new revenue beats borrowed money at any point in time. The last thing you want to do is borrow money. You just want to generate new revenue. You don't owe anybody for that money because you made it, it's yours. But if you absolutely have to borrow money, the government's already trying to do like a bunch of relief programs. The Small Business Association near you can get you like an SBA loan. There's options like that. And so we're going to see what the government does as far as packages for small businesses owners and medium-sized businesses, and keep your ear to the ground as far as debt products that are favorable to businesses that are in like a troubled situation, because the government wants the country to run as normal. They kind of need us, right? If everybody just kind of goes under, the country has a big there's a big mess on their hands. So with that said, prioritize new revenue. Follow everything that I gave you in this video. I'm sure that you have tons of questions. Meet me at my Facebook group, the Hosts of Airbnb Automated, and let's talk about it. Stay strong, guys. I'm going to be as active as possible. This has been a big deal for a lot of you guys, and a lot of you are tired. I'm tired. Hang in there. I've got your back as much as humanly possible. We will get through this. This is everything that I personally can think of right now to make your listings perform. And this is everything that I think is actionable for you. So thanks for watching Airbnb Automated. Best of luck out there. I'll see you in the next video, and I'll see you on the other side.